Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, that you're all having a great day. It's going to be a very weird news day, so buckle up. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Bitcoin is pushing to take out a level of psychological resistance that has kept the market in a downtrend for almost a year. Crypto strategist Josh Rager told 72,000 people on Twitter that Bitcoin is close to making a move that will have bullish implications. However, the bulls have a bit of work left to do. He said Bitcoin breaking above daily resistance. Bitcoin is showing no mercy to bears and is en route to trying to break above 10,300 US dollars. Closing above 10,370 would be insanely bullish. The crypto analytics platform Sentiment says that Bitcoin's rise in valuation comes as the leading cryptocurrency shows robust yearly on-chain and social fundamentals. Although the monthly timeline is a different story, they said on the yearly time frame, BTC shows a clear rise in DAA, trading volume, and an up and down social volume. Though this price could hold and push towards 11,000 and beyond, the shorter term monthly is more of a small decline for the same three metrics since the beginning of May, and there's a little pretty chart right there. Due to the conflicting data, analysts at Sentiment suggest that investors play it by ear and wait to see whether FOMO, or fear of missing out, drives the price higher or profit-taking ensues. The leading cryptocurrency is trading at $10,097 at the time of writing. I think it's up even a bit higher. I think this is quite a dated article. Bitcoin over the evening went to around 10,503 US dollars. It slunk back a tiny bit. We are having issues right now because the same thing that happened about a good 2 weeks ago has happened once again. The temporary shutdown of Coinbase within seconds after Bitcoin's rise smells fishy to several members of not even the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency community in general. It could be a tactical way of inflating prices further, and the exchange benefits more when users get, it says wrecked, R-E-K, I don't like the crypto words. It says Bitcoin begins June with a bang across the massive resistance zones from 9,600 past 10,000 US dollars. Several analysts claim that it could be the beginning of Bitcoin's next bull run. Coinbase, one of the largest exchanges on the planet, has a vast user base. It shut down temporarily after Bitcoin's rally. Users poured out their anger and frustration over the incident across social media and the internet. Many suspect a severe foul play by Coinbase. One of the major highlights of the day was the message Coinbase sent out to its customers. The message read, BTC is up by 6.25% to $10,000 in the last 24 hours, and its servers immediately went down. So part of the problem is Bitcoin did not hit 15,000. Bitcoin did not hit 18,000. Bitcoin did not make a new move to 24,000 US dollars per Bitcoin. It hit the same number it had hit before. Coinbase, being one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges on the planet, continuously and for those of you not looking at the screen, BitMEX, continue to have these insane problems where for some reason, after the last 3 years, for those of you who were not here, they said that they were putting millions of dollars into their infrastructure to be able to handle the load when a bull run takes place. For those of you who are maybe paying attention, Bitcoin hit $20,000 before. Yeah, I know, newsflash. And what happened was that many of these exchanges were having issues, but they weren't having constant shutdowns. And part of the issue with the shutdowns is that whenever Bitcoin just seems to be going up on its own, or a huge price movement is taking place, BitMEX and Coinbase keep shutting down. And we're not told whether these are them flipping a switch. We're not told whether it is simply their systems that are malfunctioning or simply can't handle the load. The issue is both of them are terrible. If they see that Bitcoin is moving up rapidly in price, or even down for that matter, in a free market, and they're flipping a switch to turn everything off, that in its own way is a form of manipulation. The same exact way goes I mean, it's just a lot, because the problem is that we can't, or seemingly the last 3 times we have been unable to sustain price movements because these shutdowns keep happening. If their systems are unable to hold support for people coming into the market or moving into the market or buying new coins, like I have a lot of friends over the last 2 weeks, even just 2 weeks, who've been asking me how to buy Bitcoin. And I've funneled them to the easiest exchanges because it's the easiest way for them to acquire them. I'm not trying to have them using the decentralized exchanges and have them not really understand what's going on. But the problem is, if these exchanges can't handle the load, what are we going to do if Bitcoin tries to pass by 15,000? The major resistance that we're going to potentially start hearing about over the next couple of weeks, maybe, who knows, is the $14,000 mark. Bitcoin dropped from 20,000 to around 3,000, give or take a couple of months, and then shot up to 14,000, and then the downtrend began again. So when we get past that, near that $14,000, everyone's going to start losing their minds, saying that once we pass by the 14K, this will be hyper, mega, ultra bullish. But once again, if we can't get past 10,000 without Coinbase and BitMEX going offline all the time. This is an older article as well, this one from BitMEX, but this was 12, 13 days ago. It says BitMEX trading engine back online, the company said. Like, but the issue is, why are you constantly going online every single time that and it's not even a case of it is what it is. This should not be happening at all. How are we supposed to have a bull market if the major crypto exchanges keep going offline? How are we supposed to have any faith in the market for new people trying to get in? Like, do you understand? Now, a lot of you may have been in the cryptocurrency space for a while, and I'll say a while is anywhere over a year and a half, because it takes a while for you to get used to the fluctuations, Bitcoin going really high up and then slamming back into the ground, and you wondering why you put your money into the market. But you also get used to other things kind of taking place. You get used to hearing about cryptocurrency exchanges being hacked. You get used to hearing cryptocurrency exchanges did this. And the lights going out on crypto exchanges is okay to happen once in a year. Things do happen where the system simply can't hold and it buckles. But when you hear about it, was it like the 7th time over the last 3 months? Like, we aren't really, like, we aren't in hyper bullish Bitcoin numbers. Like 10,500 is excellent. But when we start hitting $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 Bitcoins, that's when the market is expected to completely go insane. So the issue is, right now, I assume we're going to get some, almost cursed, some type of a side answer from Coinbase as to exactly why this happened. Our systems couldn't handle it. We're going to be working on it. We're going to do everything we can to make sure that this technical issue is fixed. But it won't be, because I think eventually people are going to rage, and I mean be really upset, when we see the profits before our eyes and the market isn't allowed to make those profits. How many other times do we need, imagine if Bitcoin, like, really think about this for a second. It's one thing to have your systems go offline between the $9,500 and $10,500 area. That's one thing. Imagine if Bitcoin is, going hard, really aiming for $20,000, and then Coinbase and BitMEX go offline for an hour. They turn their systems back on, and nothing but huge sell orders bring us back down to 12,000. People aren't going to be too forgiving at that point, because we're already at the point where people are anxious for prices to kind of go up, because there's nothing really holding us back except for these crypto exchanges constantly shutting off. This may also be an indicator as to why people have been moving their Bitcoin off of exchanges, because they're probably tired of this nonsense. Anyway, yeah, it happened again, and is going to continue happening. Yeah, I don't see any real solution other than them getting their stuff together, but also their circuit breakers. Like we aren't the New York Stock Exchange. Like, stop circuit breaking these systems, or just get your systems together I mean, there aren't billions of people trying to use Coinbase at once. I assume any movement is simply people putting in buy orders and or trading on Coinbase Pro or what other platforms they have. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Yeah, that's the Coinbase Bitcoin going above 10,000 news. And if we fall below 10,000 and it has anything to do with the actual Coinbase shutdown, okay, let's move on. Next up, in this is starting to make sense news, Tether, owned by Bitfinex, has announced the decision to integrate with the OmiseGo network. That is a plasma-based Ethereum sidechain. With gas costs on the Ethereum network prone to spikes due to congestion, Tether, the stablecoin owned by Bitfinex, has announced an integration with the recently launched OMG Plasma network. This enables cheaper and faster transactions and higher reaction time for traders who mostly use the stablecoin in trades. According to a recent release by Bitfinex Chief CTO, or Chief Technical Officer, Paolo Ardoino, the migration of some of the volume of Tether transactions would ease the pressure on Ethereum and would now bore the weight of all transactions of the Ether platform. He said, by migrating Tether value transfer to the OmiseGo network, we save costs, drive performance improvements, and relieve pressure on the root chain network. So, you may have noticed that the last week or so, the letters OMG have been in the news quite a bit. 2018, 2019, we maybe heard about OmiseGo, was it 3, 4? I'll give it a good 6 times throughout the course of a 2-year period. This now, for me, in my eyes, makes sense as to why OmiseGo was added to Coinbase. Once again, backing it up for those of you who don't know, the people, or rather, we've heard that a person, the head of Coinbase, loves Ethereum, and he added support for ERC20 tokens before to the platform. It appears, I mean, for me, the way that things are lining up is that the addition of OmiseGo to Coinbase was probably preceded by the news amongst them that Tether was going to be launched onto the OmiseGo network as a way to ease pressure on the Ethereum network, which is supposed to also be undergoing Ethereum 2.0 transition over the next couple of weeks, so they say. OmiseGo has been in the news, and I want to say I'm predicting it'll be probably a what's the word? A Tezos-esque news release kind of thing. OmiseGo is not in the news really for about a year and a half. And all of a sudden, they're in the news just about every single day. And now Tether is integrating or building on top of them as well. The Tether thing also comes back down to, I think something is, how do I say this? A lot of things are happening right now with Tether, and I think in an effort to make sure that the coin remains, in a sense, more decentralized and more spread out, they're putting it on top of multiple different coins. Like, it's now on top of OmiseGo, Ethereum, EOS, Tron, I think as well. There's also some Tether on Bitcoin. It's on top of all the main coins, and I assume this is being done just in case someone, my assumption, someone tries to shut things down, that they will have a backup plan. Also in the news, for some reason, a lot of people were saying that just do your own research. People were saying that the movement of Tether, portion of it, from Ether to OmiseGo was showing the death of Ethereum and how OmiseGo was an Ethereum killer. For those of you who have no idea what you're talking about, not saying that it's you, or you, but there's someone in the crowd, OmiseGo is built exclusively on top of Ethereum, ERC20 token. The people from Ethereum and OmiseGo are like two peas in a pod. They are extremely close. OmiseGo is meant to be a plasma sidechain for the, not the reduction of, the building up of, speeding of, quickening up of the Ethereum network. So apparently Vitalik Buterin had to bounce back a couple of comments to people saying OMG network is a plasma chain on Ethereum. It's not some kind of ETH killer. Once again, I implore all of you, nay, it behooves all of you Just do your own research. Stop spouting stuff out at the mouth, especially if you have no idea what you're talking about. If you can't, I mean, the OmiseGo network, like last year especially, they were having all these like weird video chats. It was kind of odd. It was the OmiseGo team and Vitalik Buterin like sitting on the floor playing chess. It was anyway. Yeah, they are one and the same. The point of OmiseGo is to build up Ethereum and to speed up Ethereum transactions through Plasma. There's no separation of either. They work together exclusively. So that's also in the news as well. I just want to understand life. Anyway, yeah, OmiseGo's all over the news, and I assume this is going to continue. Whenever Coinbase adds something, I have said it before, the last like 7 times, there's usually some type of a monetary goal, of course, because they are a major business. But some of them are too on the nose, almost touched my nose. It's more of they probably have a huge amount of OmiseGo, especially them also announcing that they're going to be airdropping, air quotes, OmiseGo to people on their platform who are holding Ethereum. Yeah, so I assume big things will come for OmiseGo because there's probably big money behind the scenes as well. Like when you have a network as big as Ethereum, who's going to be upgraded by the OMG network, clearly people want to make sure they have a hook and everything so that they can also share in the spoils. Anyway, that's the OMG Ether Tether news. Let's move on. Next up, that's a weird photo. Next up, Square Crypto has been doling out grants to developers working on free, open source projects that support the future developments of Bitcoin and the Lightning Network. And its latest grant has gone to a watchtower service for the latter. The Eye of Satoshi is the service, and it hails from Spanish developer Talaya. Watchtowers were introduced into the Lightning Network code last year, providing a backup service option to monitor blockchain transactions if your own Lightning software isn't active. That way, peers can't close the channel and run off with your coins. They said, if your Lightning Network software is offline, and it isn't actively monitoring the blockchain, you need a third party that can keep watch for you, Square Crypto tweeted. This could be because you're running a lightweight wallet and actively aren't using your wallet, or your Lightning Network node crashes. This is what watchtowers do. Talia already runs with C Lightning and will run on other Lightning Network implementations. According to Square Crypto, there will be other benefits to free and open source services beyond transaction monitoring. So the news to be had is, for those of you who don't know, that was such a weird photo. Jack Dorsey is obsessed with Bitcoin. He thinks that Bitcoin is going to be the currency of the internet in the future. And when I say the, I mean the only. And I have assumed for a while that we were going to get major companies who were going to start trying to build up the Lightning Network. It does make sense, as we have had theories, news, suggestions before in the past that apparently Bitcoin is going to be integrated in some sort of way into Twitter, i.e. you'll be able to send Bitcoin tips and Bitcoin that and Bitcoin so-and-so. The issue is you can't really send microtransactions through the Bitcoin network, so I assume that the Lightning Network would be built up once again by major companies, and I guess this is where the grant fund comes from. I assume it'll take a good 2 years. I don't think the Lightning Network is quite there yet. Hopefully, I mean, in 2 years, it should be able to do something a little bit more than it's currently doing right now. However, I think at some point in the future, we're going to see an integration of Bitcoin into Twitter where people are able to actually send 5,000 Satoshis to friends back and forth. Anyway, yeah, that's the Square Crypto, Twitter, Bitcoin, Lightning, Eye of Satoshi Spanish news. And let's move on. Next up, the CEO of Kraken says he believes Bitcoin is on the cusp of a long-term rally to 100,000 US dollars. In a new conference call hosted by Pantera, Jesse Powell said the masses don't yet understand the importance of Bitcoin scarcity. No, they do not. And independence from banks and middlemen. They also don't get that. He expects that to change in the decade ahead. if and when the value of the US dollar dwindles. People within the cryptocurrency space don't understand the actual scarcity of Bitcoin. I go through it sometimes when I walk down the street in my head. I'll listen to a podcast about crypto, and I really go over the numbers, and people don't understand. We are several billion people on this planet. Billions of people. The actual wealth of Bitcoin is probably held within around roughly 500,000 to 1 million people. It's believed that 50 million people currently are into Bitcoin in some sort of way. They hold some fraction of a Bitcoin. There are also people who have tried to make jokes and they only own $1 worth of Bitcoin. There are other people, however, who own 1/10 of a Bitcoin, who own 1/2 of a Bitcoin, who own an entire Bitcoin. And that really sets people apart as far as the actual scarcity of Bitcoin. And then you also have people who own 5,300, 8,000, 45,000, 175,000, 210,000 Bitcoin. And people aren't going to get how scarce it all is. It's going to be the word isn't reckoning. Why is reckoning in my head? It's going to be this really sad moment, at least for me, because I can already see the people panicking, trying to figure out how to buy Bitcoin, not realizing that they are just completely too late. And also, if you ask people about try this with your friends one day. Ask them about banks, ask them about institutions, ask them about money, ask them about how money works and middlemen. They'll have no idea what you're talking about. A lot of people are used, I mean, it's the only system we know where if I'm sending you money, there must be a middleman or middlemen or whatever phrase you decide to use. And even more so, it seems completely logical to people that if I'm sending you money from here in Canada over to Tokyo, that it has to bounce through about 5 different banks to be able to actually, you know, go through all the checks to be able to actually get to you as well. So when people finally understand, which will at least take a decade in my eyes as well, they'll really understand how late they are to the game, because there's a difference between you getting into crypto now and getting into it 5 years later, or heaven forbid 10 years later. You are no longer an early adopter, you are a FOMOer. He says, I don't think Bitcoin is even priced into Bitcoin. Most people have heard about Bitcoin, but they don't own any Bitcoin. They don't know what the future of Bitcoin is. I think if everyone knew about Bitcoin and the potential of Bitcoin and how great it was, the price would be $1 trillion of Bitcoin. We would all just have switched over to Bitcoin and not be using anything else. Trillion's kind of hard, but then again, who knows what the future holds? The issue is that people within the crypto space don't know the actual potential of Bitcoin. I've told you all before, I'm expecting a major sell-off in price by the time we get to around $20,000 to $24,000 per Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are going to panic. They think that's it. They think, you know, we have to hit the all-time high and I'm going to sell and cash out. And then when the dip happens, and then when prices start going back up, these people will fuel the rise in the price again, because like when you sell, it goes to someone else, and it doesn't mean that that person is going to sell. They're buying at that price because they want to accumulate. Yeah, he said, I think that there's a lot not priced in, even though it's predictable, like what the future is. 10 years down the road, the US dollar is going to continue to be printed like crazy. It's going to be totally worthless. No one is going to want it. Everyone is going to want Bitcoin, but that's not priced in because of perceived risks or perceived uncertainty about the future, about regulation, and how does the government respond in different situations as Bitcoin continues to develop, or how useful does it actually become? When we talk about that the average rate of inflation amongst many countries is supposed to be 1% to 2%, and it's usually anywhere from 2% to 5%, especially after the trillions of dollars that were just printed over the last couple of months. This continues. We're also in a huge, gigantic debt bubble, and debt is only inflated further by creating more debt, because you take out debt to pay off the debt, but then that other debt that wasn't really paid off continues to spiral out of control because you just can't simply print more money to... Anyway, it's going to be a fascinating future. There's I'll try and find out which podcast it was. It came out a couple of days ago, where the guy was talking about the world of deflation and how that's going to affect a lot of things. When we can see right now, like we see that there's a momentum in the price of Bitcoin and the movement of Bitcoin, because we know that Bitcoin's inflation rate is 1.8%, while the US dollar is usually 3+%. So what happens when Bitcoin's inflation rate is 0.9% in 4 years, and the dollar is still roughly around 3 to 5% per year? And then in 2028, when it's 0.45%, it's clear that Bitcoin is the stronger holder of value compared to something that's being increased by 5% per year. And yeah, that's when I assume that the masses will finally try to get into Bitcoin. But at that point, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you. There's going to be a point in the future where one of your friends is going to brag to you that they managed to acquire 10,000 Satoshi, and you're going to be like, wow, man, that's crazy. Not realizing, what is it? 2, 8, 10, 1, it's now $100 to get 1,000,000 Satoshis. So when you have a friend bragging to you that they essentially have 10K, and you're like, wow, man, how early you are, what an adopter you have become. Anyway, yeah, I think people won't get it for a while. I think people in the crypto space, a vast majority understand, but even a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't really get the potential of what Bitcoin fully is. That's just life. And to finish things off, the operator of the Swiss Securities Exchange, the SIX Group, is leading a $14 million Series A funding for a 12% stake in OmiseGo, a San Francisco-based provider of trading infrastructure suitable for institutional-grade investors. Although this will be the second time the group is announcing their interest in OmiseGo, this time other investors including Sierra Capital, Jump Capital, and Wicklow Capital, okay, will join them. The valuation of OmiseGo has not been divulged, but they received a $10 million investment during their seed round. Specifically, OmiseGo is a complete solution enabling institutions to trade digital assets. They have purposefully built a trading platform that meets and resolves the regulatory, security, liquidity, and technology challenges faced by institutions keen on investing on the emerging asset class. Cryptocurrencies are largely unregulated, and its distributed nature means they keep deep-pocketed. Investors can't right away delve in due to compliance issues. So this is, I mean, this was also for some reason a lot of different places, and I get the significance of it, yes, of course. However, it's just pretty much that there's another cryptocurrency exchange that's being built for rich people. That's the news story. I don't know if the story excites people simply because we have indicators that more rich people are diving into the cryptocurrency space, or that they're going to be allowed to do so, or that the regulations are there. I don't know what gets people going. However, yeah, cool, wonderful. Maybe because it's also based in Switzerland. That could be a cool thing as well. Anyway, yeah, there's another crypto exchange opening up for very rich people, and that was bound to happen. So, yay. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia569, Yasha Harari, Moonman High XRP, The Pothead, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Chongololo, Tsongololo, Nostromo, John Sarston, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Adobo, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Nicholas, One Earth, One Piece, One Love, Damien, Set, Suna, Nick, Kanaya, Richie Rich 3, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangela, Vori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crail and Michelle, URL, and hold on. I have to sneeze. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a new Patreon member. I saw a couple of people joining yesterday. I do thank you very, very much. Thank you to everyone who is a member of this channel by clicking the little join button below. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the new channel, and thank you all for being you in general. I know these are incredibly, ridiculously, oddly insane times. At the moment, This spike is ridiculous. Bitcoin is currently at 10,114 US dollars. This was the up. Here's the slight down. If we can maintain this momentum, there should be another spike up in price. But who knows, with all the Bitfinexes, Tethers, and Coinbases floating around out there. Ether is currently up by roughly 5%. It hit I think $251 a couple of bit ago. I assume maybe this momentum is going to continue. If we end up getting to a $13,000-$14,000 Bitcoin and a $500 Ether, especially as we move, I mean, we're June, so as we move closer to July and we get indications that Ethereum 2.0 is going to launch, sky's the limit. XRP is currently up by 3.73%. It is at 21 cents. It is 12? No, 8. It is 8 billion, 800. It's not that far away. Why can't I count? It's not that far away from Tether at the moment. I was like, 8 billion. No, that number's definitely wrong. I think all the coins within the top 25 I saw earlier were in the, okay, no, yeah, that's a stable coin. Yeah, everything within the top 25, 26 are in the green at the moment. Cardano's actually going down slightly a bit. I mean, I guess maybe the push up was too much for the market. It's currently at 8 cents. Tezos is at $3.10. Sure, why not? Anything else? I mean, spectacularly insane. No, everything is roughly between 3 to like 15%. I mean, which is also very, very good. Let's see where this leads us as the day continues to go on. I think, I don't know. I think if we have like a really good news story or something really, you know, sparks everything, this will propel us higher. I do hope you all enjoyed, regardless of how insane this news might be. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.